set.
Are you all set down there?
I'm ready.
Okay. You ready? I'd like to call the April 24, 2019 meeting of the Sewer Commission to order. First item on the agenda is citizen comments. Statements limited to the legislative functions of the Sewer Commission. The time limit granted to each speaker shall be 3 minutes. Residents, taxpayers, or electors may address the commission. Is there anyone here wishing to address the commission? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda, applications petitions. First item up is 290 Oldgate Lane, proposed restaurant where one previously existed, but where proposed flow exceeds the allowed flow. Is there anyone here representing that petition? Hey, nobody here for that, so we'll move on to item number B, 11 Berwyn Street, proposed restaurant where one previously existed, but where proposed flow exceeds the allowable flow. Is there someone here for that?
Move it.
Okay, sure. Gentlemen, please, have a seat, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Javier Martinez,
Okay.
and the address is 11 Berwyn Street.
Have a seat. Do we, it's kind of straightforward part, do you have anything on this?
As I understand, this is near the Naugatuck West Shore district, but not actually in it. It's, when we set up the district, there were all the lots that were along the street. And this property happens to be, a couple of lots back from the street, and it's near the district. And I understand also traditionally it's been a restaurant in the past, but it's not actually that district where we allow the larger flows.
How much overage?
How much over was it?
Basically,
Yeah.
He's allowed 135, and he's asking for 160.
that was previously approved, I believe, you're not adding any more room in there, right?
No, just
So basically, you're taking the same space, doing the same. Do you have any ice machines or things of that nature?
no.
Any other further questions from the commission? We'll tell you what, we'll take a motion to approve, and then we can have discussions.
So moved.
Okay, second. Discussion?
Well, we need this kind of vitality in our city, and once you just told us that the seating was going to be the same as previously, and it is a breath outside of
Special sewer district.
Yeah.
special sewer district. It's still, I know it's not in there, but it's the same
Yeah.
pipe,
Right, it goes to city, exactly. yeah.
okay? So,
Yeah, I would agree, it's been previously approved, so.
Was this a restaurant before?
Huh?
There was a restaurant.
Yes, it was a small restaurant before. We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You're all set?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, good.
Good. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay,
That's
thank
very
you.
fine, thank you.
business.
The next item on the agenda is item C, 328 Middleside Road, affordable 830G for 8 one-bedrooms and 4 two-bedroom units, previously approved for 12 one-bedroom units.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thomas Lynch, representing Buddy Field, who's also here with me. So, back in 2017, this commission approved the application that had been submitted by Bill Colombo for the same number of units. Buddy is now buying this property, and the dens that were shown on the floor plans are now going to be bedrooms. So there's no change in the fixture count at all. When I met with Beverly, she asked me to complete the application based on the current sewer guidelines, but I submit to you, and again, the letter from April 26th shows that the approval for this property would be 825 gallons per day. The calculation that we come up with by adding the 40 gallons per day to the one-bedroom units. There's going to be 4 affordable units that will now have 2 bedrooms. So that adds 160 gallons to the count. So we're submitting to you that the proposed usage is going to be 796 gallons per day, which is still under the 825 gallons per day that were approved back in 2017. So we would ask that you approve this amendment to our plan.
Mark, have you reviewed this?
I took a look at this, and my calculations are different than that. I have you know, what's allowed, you know, based on the zone of this property, and this would be 576 gallons per day.
That's under your current regulation?
Yes,
That's on our.
Right, under current regulation.
Current regulation.
What had been approved, and you've got the documentation with the date on that approval. What had been approved was 825 gallons per day.
Correct.
And my calculation of what you're asking for based on the units is 1,060 gallons per day, which is almost double what's allowed.
Well, again, not to be repetitive, but what you're calculating that on is the current regulations, and we're looking
Correct.
at the approval that was given in 2017, and we were using the calculations based on that approval. And I think that's the proper standard to use.
For this particular property. This property carries an 826 gallon approval. Right now, I can do 12 one-bedrooms. One of the reasons why I'm switching over to the affordables, I'm not, the market value I don't care about. One of the reasons I'm switching over to the affordable ones is, you know, my demographics for the market rate, for the most part, is single people and couples, no children. My demographics for the affordables is single moms with 1 kid. 90% of my rentals for the affordables are single moms with 1 kid. And this fits, this fits right, you know, with what the rental rates are getting for the affordable. They're doing what they're designed to do. They're allowing people who normally could not live in Milford or in situations like this to live in homes that are in that price range. Had at the time when they came before this board, and they just changed this a little bit, it could have been approved because they were still way under the 825 that the board approved it at that time. So basically, we're not increasing the fixture count, we're not increasing anything like that. We're just allowing, just in the affordable units, for a den to become a bedroom. Because I'm finding out the majority of my people applying to my affordables are mothers with single kids. I do not have any one-bedroom affordables in any of my complexes. I do know in the other complexes that people I know have one-bedroom affordables. It's the mothers don't apply because they can't put their kids in the same room as them. So, you know, it's already been approved for the 825, and I'm under that with the water saving devices.
The standard that was used in the 2017 approval was the standard of 1,500 gallons per day per acre. So that's where the 825 number came up with. After that, you amended your regulations and you changed it. So all we're asking for is an amendment based on changing 4 units, no added fixture count, but 4 units with 1 additional bedroom. And when you add the 40 gallons per day standard, which is under your current regulations, just adding that to the 75 gallons per day, the extra gallonage of 160 gallons added to what was approved here back in 2017, you come up with 796 gallons. It's under the 825 standard that you used to approve this project.
Recommendations. I mean, I had a couple of observations, recommendations if you had.
Sure.
Yeah, one I would recommend that the, you know, whatever approval, if the inclination is to approve something that's over what's already approved, that the basis of that be based on the current, you know, regulation that we interpret. So if it's if currently we're looking at 1060, then that approval is based on an increase from 825 to 1060, so that we're applying the current criteria. The other thing is, you know, the reason we have the various allowances for various properties is to, make sure that we're not overtaxing the infrastructure downstream, and so I would recommend that, the applicant demonstrate that they're not gonna have impact
Yeah.
on the downstream
Yeah, it's
infrastructure.
kind of a quagmire, because you're asking to, basically with a new application, and we're gonna put it to the new regs. Ultimately, with the 830Gs, the sewer commission cannot deny it, but there is a concern of the added flow by our calculations to the system. So,
Well, the question I have is back in 2017, it wasn't a question. So the sewer plants didn't change. Most of the lines I know didn't change, because I used to use Andy
No, but-
up in the street.
And Lee,
So what changed on it?
the only change really is you're adding 160 gallons per day to this project.
It's just still 12 units.
It's really, it's not,
Right.
it's 160 gallons. He's taking 4 units and turning them into 2-bedroom units, 40 gallons extra per day times those 4 units. It's 160 gallons.
And I could see if I was coming in with a fresh application where this was never approved for 12 units under a previous approval, which had a higher, which had, you know, a calculation rate.
Right, and all the other ones that we have been coming in with, since you
We-
changed
we
your
were coming
regulations,
in.
we've been coming in under
Yeah.
the current regulations. West Main Street, Monroe Street,
yeah, they all came in under, right, yeah.
Seaside Avenue, Meadowside, we took your new regulations, we haven't argued
Yeah.
the Doughty case and all that stuff.
Right.
We've come in and with the unit counts to comply with the current
And
regulations.
and I'm working with your numbers that was approved for this project by this board. So I'm under your numbers from a year ago.
But, and I appreciate the comment about adding to the structure, but I'm just saying it's 160.
Yeah, but by your calculations, if we do it per our current regulations, they're at 1060, correct?
Yeah, 10%. So I get, what I get under current regulations is that they're asking to be 484 gallons over what's permitted, and 235 over what's been approved.
Or what?
235 over what was approved.
Or not, 235.
235.
Or how much?
484 over what's permitted.
Now, is that gallon per day?
Yes, gallons.
484 equals gallon per day. See, it's kind of tough when you have 2 people in front of you telling you 160 gallon per day, and then you have another gentleman who we pay to quote this, and he's got 464 gallons per day. I mean, basically, somebody's math is wrong.
Well, I got an A+ in math also.
Okay.
And all I know is I have.
I understand law schools are just packed with math.
But let's just assume we never walked in here today,
Yeah.
and Buddy was gonna build this project. He has an approval to build this project, and the allowable gallonage based on your approval is 636 gallons.
Why, that's not,
Is that,
is
no.
that true?
Yeah. What would be the low?
Right now.
Oh, I have a letter right there.
Yeah, but I'm right now.
Thank you 12 times.
I'm approved.
Previously.
Yeah, but so if I get. if I-
No,
oh,
shush.
oh,
I wanna follow up on.
Yeah.
Are you men talking?
That's
I
already
would
reversed.
like at this point, through the chair, to talk to our consultant. Thank you for your time.
And then I'd like to respond.
That's right, back through the chair to Commissioner Hubler. By my calculation, what is permitted for this property is 576 gallons per day. What has been approved is 825 gallons per day previously approved. What,
Is
and then the third
800
number,
and what?
825. Based on the property, based on current criteria, what they're asking for based on the number of bedrooms, which is what the basis that we use for this type of property, they're asking for 1,060 gallons per day.
In 1 minute, could you please tell me what your numbers are at this time? What is permitted right now?
We have an approval to utilize 636 gallons per day on the property
Okay, that's not,
For 12 units.
for 12 units.
okay? We have a permit right now at 576, and they just told you that number was something else.
576 is the regulations now, right?
We have an approval to utilize 636 gallons per day on the property. So that's how many gallons of water are gonna go into the wastewater management system if we didn't walk in the door. Now we want, can I finish?
Okay, sure.
I wanna come up with, tell you where I come up with my 160. So you have approval, he's gonna build a project that's gonna generate 636 gallons based on the approval letter. Nothing has changed other than he wants to change 4 units to 2-bedroom units. Based on your calculations, a 1-bedroom unit uses 75 gallons a day. For each additional bedroom, you add 40 gallons per day. 4 units times 40 equals 160 gallons. So my math is saying that we're approved to use 636, the letter states it. We want to add another 160 gallons to the wastewater management system. That's 796 gallons.
Mr. Consultant, your term for approval was 825, his term for approval was 636. Are there 2 different approvals?
Yeah, can I read the paragraph? Because I think this may clarify.
It was
what we're talking
825,
about.
and then utilizing water-saving devices, the commission approved 636.
And I'll skip the first sentence with the, the first sentence goes for fixtures, just the fixture count, and this will be the 3rd paragraph of the letter from the commission dated April 26, 2017. And the fixture count is 24 toilets, 24 hand sinks, 12 tub/showers, 12 kitchen sinks, and 12 bedrooms. The approved allowable gallons per sewer commission policies for the whole parcel are 825 gallons per day. In parentheses, it says 0.55 acres times 1,500 gallons per day. Proposed gallons for this entire parcel are 900 gallons per day, 12 units times 75 gallons per day. However, based on the water-saving fixtures being installed, the flow can be reduced to 636 gallons per day, 12 units times 53 gallons per day, not to exceed the 825 gallon per day allowed per sewer commission policies. And to summarize, the way I read that is, they've been approved for 825 gallons per day. They were telling us that they were only going to produce 636 gallons per day.
Right.
That's how I read that.
Right, so we're coming in for less than that.
And now we're saying that we're asking for another 160 gallons per day. And when you add that to the 636, that comes up to 796, which is less than what this letter says the property can use.
And that's based on your projected usage on your said water-saving devices, okay?
And they were submitted at that
Yeah.
original application.
Right, and I forget the date that we had Westcott and Napes, our consulting engineers, to review the current water usage devices and reestablish or go through our regulations to see if they were, if they could be modified, which they were.
And we have a current, correct, we have a current criteria.
So our current criteria is based upon what is out there on the market. Yeah.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and I hate to use the word grandfather, but this is an approval from 2017.
Yes, for that project.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. All we're doing is adding 4.
You're coming in with a new project.
Okay.
Yeah, you're coming in with a different project. It's a different application.
That's the interpretation
Yeah.
you can have.
Yeah, that is, it's,
I look at it more, it's a modification of an
yeah.
approval.
Yeah, I look at it as a new application, which you're coming in with, rather than just a modification. A modification would be moving, in my opinion, would be moving some units around or something, but still keeping the same count. Just be a change, shuffle the cards.
The fixture count is the same. No change to the fixture
It's
count.
still 12 units. We're not increasing the units.
Well, what I would recommend is that the commission consider whether or not the existing infrastructure can handle the 1,060 gallons per day that we expect to receive from this piece of property. I think that would be the concern that I would recommend to consider.
So how do we?
We'll look at it this way, kind of look at it this way. Let's just say I never walked in here, I'm already approved to do 12 one-bedrooms.
Right.
Okay, so if I got up and walked out now, I could still build 12 one-bedrooms.
Yes.
Let's just say I came in here and this was not even approved. Okay, 12 times your count comes up with what? Today's standards comes up with what?
1060, right?
Well, 1060 is based on the eight one-bedroom units. and
Okay,
four
but if I had 12 one-bedroom units,
12 times 75,
right?
3/4 of 12.
980.
Right.
Okay,
Good math.
I'm still below that.
Why don't we do this? When we move the table to get that information?
Second.
Well, what information you can ask for?
The information, the impact,
Okay.
what you suggested?
Yeah, well, and I recommend that they provide that.
Yes. Yeah. So the, would be a motion to table pending a review of, that they provide of our system to see if it's able to handle the existing capacity.
Now, let me just ask you, why was it changed from 825 to 576? Was that based on water saving devices that were available? Okay.
It's your new regulations.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, Mark.
Okay, I wasn't around for this.
Right, the 576 is based on the, our current regulations, what would be allowed in the zone, based on the acreage that they have.
But why was it changed? It was 825.
825 was what was approved,
Okay.
and that was, based on that letter.
Right, so if I'm approved for 825, and I'm coming in for less than that, that's what I don't understand.
You're not coming in for less than that.
I am, because the structures aren't changed, nothing's changed.
Lee's saying based on the new regulations.
Yeah.
Can we table it and have them see if they can give us an idea?
Motion to, okay, the motion on the table has been seconded. A motion to table the made has been seconded. Actually, there's no discussion on the table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. It's tabled right now. So you
Can I
can
ask
take a
you a
look at the
question?
system.
Do you get Westcott Makes to do a study or?
You could, I don't know if you would want Westcott and Mapes, or if you want an independent, party to review it, or,
You probably just,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
sure.
all you have to do is clarify it. You know, what was approved, current regulations, what you.
No.
They found count.
Yeah, that's not what you're asking us to do. You're asking us to show that 1,060 gallons, correct me if I'm wrong. You want us to show that 1,060 gallons will not have that the system can handle
Yes.
1,060
Yes.
gallons coming from the
Correct.
sun.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So who does that?
Engineering consultant.
Engineering has the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, engineering consultant, yeah.
Engineering consultant.
Yes.
No, and Milford has those numbers. Westcott and Mape did those numbers. Westcott and Mape has those numbers.
So if you can give us the numbers.
Well, the numbers, we'd have to-
Then we can act on
Yeah.
it, correct?
Yeah, they would have to be analyzed to take a look at what's currently flowed and what the addition would, what impact it would have, and then a statement saying this is the impact of this additional flow that we.
Yeah,
anticipate
that's
this
fine.
problem.
I think that would give us a basis.
Yeah, basis.
Mr. Applicant.
I don't even know how they would go on
I
that.
got 636, and you add 160.
Right.
I got 796.
Right.
You like that?
That's what
Gallons
we're
per
saying.
day.
That's what we're saying. And we're saying that that's based upon the approval from 2017. There's no question, I'm not arguing the fact that based on your current calculations, that the number comes out to 1,060.
Mr. Consultant. Okay, so 796 is less than 825.
Right, but I wouldn't calculate it by, every other property, we make them adhere to what would be the 1060.
Well, that there's more to their paper, isn't it?
No, that's, 1060 is not what they're allowed, it's what they're asking for.
They're asking for 1060, but I just added up to 796.
All right, there's been a motion to table this.
Yes, sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
All right,
You can
okay.
talk after.
All right.
See you guys later, thank you, thank you.
Where's my agenda now? Okay. Next item on the agenda, number 3, Wisconsin Mapes.
I didn't say that, I said Mr. Chairman.
We're gonna start with item A is the Rock Street and Welch's Point Pump Station project. They just need to complete the paving and landscaping for that, waiting for a utility pole to come out, to be able to wrap that up. One thing the contractor had asked, and it was whether the commission might be interested in, once it's complete, coming through and taking a look at the 2 pump stations. And if there's a desire to do that, we can schedule, not this month, but perhaps after the next meeting, schedule a walkthrough to take a look at the Rock Street and Welch's Point pump stations to see what.
Mr. Chair, I would like to do that.
Sure. Okay, go, just ask that. Yeah, would you like to, Leo, would you like somebody to be interested in?
Want to go visit it?
Yeah, go visit.
A road trip? Yeah.
A road trip.
Yeah, definitely.
But not in the middle of the day, first thing in the morning or last thing at night.
Okay,
Right. My schedule's open, so whatever works for the commission.
and it'll be after the next meeting, because it won't be quite ready. We like to have it paved and some grass growing. So it's pretty much done.
All right.
Item B, Beaverbrook wastewater treatment plant, nothing additional to add on that. It's done. Viscount Drive, item C, the Viscount Drive sanitary sewer force main replacement, and, we're making revisions, we're designing it with PVC pipe instead of polyethylene pipes as a change of materials. And then we're changing the location a bit to avoid some of the utilities, and we're gonna put it back out to bid for construction. And after Labor Day, like it says. Item D, Sailor's Lane Pump Station. We're reviewing submittals, we've got the generators, control submittals we're taking a look at for that. Item E, well actually item E and item F, our contracts are being circulated with the city attorney, and we need to go through purchasing and finance for the design contracts on that. And that's where that's at. So those are the projects.
And any questions on those from the board? Consulting engineers report, anything?
Yes, I had, and stay here, we received a packet from, actually it was delivered to purchasing, and these folks under a Freedom of Information, question or whatever, the group, the Laborers International Union of North America. Yeah.
I think that. You also, you're probably gonna wanna hear this.
I'm sorry.
I was referring to Mr. Chairman.
Okay. No, pay attention to this one.
Just one item, we had a group, this Laborers International Union of North America, bring a packet of information, dropped it off to purchasing. They had some questions on the Viscount Drive bid and some of the other bids that they went through the city attorney under Freedom of Information to get some information. They came back, basically what the packet said is they were making claims that B&W Paving and Landscaping, which is one of the, they did the Beaverbrook aeration project, and they're also on our pre-qualification list, had for several towns in Connecticut were rejected as low bidder, and that there were projects they hadn't completed, and that there were projects where they had been charged liquidated damages. That's what the paperwork they gave us claimed. And so we received that. Talked to the city attorney. We sent a letter to B&W Paving and Landscaping, presenting this information that had been provided to us, and then asking them to give them a chance to respond and explain. What they told us was that that these what we're looking into is inconsistencies with the pre-qualification packet that they gave us. And what they told us was that these things were being misconstrued, that the jobs where they were low bidder and didn't get the job was because they also were not a small business and were not therefore qualified for those, and that the ones they didn't complete actually were completed, and the project that was liquidated damages, there was a bit of a misunderstanding. And that was our explanation to us. I discussed this with the city attorney, and he's asked us to follow up with some of these towns and kind of check their story out. So we're in the process of doing that, but I want to bring that up to make the commission aware that that's ongoing.
Sure.
Did we have any problem with Beaverbrook?
No, they weren't the most stellar, but they got done substantially complete, and the project's done.
Oh, that's right, okay. There's always problems, that's why we hire a professional.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Any further questions? Good. Moving on to committee reports, we have none. 7, old business, there's none. And voting, regular.
We just wastewater,
What?
wastewater.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped you, that's it. I'm sorry, I apologize. Sure.
I'll be quick, I just got 2 points to bring out in my report. Our step screen it's a fine screen, it screens out a lot of stuff at the plant, at Housatonic plant. That is starting to fail, it still works, but in order to fix this screen, we have to remove it, ship it to Iowa, I believe, get it fixed where, over a period of a month or so, which is problematic for operations at the plant.
Yeah.
So I just want to make you aware of that. We're looking at potentially going with another manufacturer where you wouldn't have to remove the screen. This was done about 3 or 4 years ago. This was taken out and shipped out. So we're looking at another manufacturer and sort of exploring other options for that
Yeah.
to avoid this. Because what happens is when you remove the screen, equipment downstream gets damaged. Requires a lot of extra cleaning, and it's in general just problematic for plant operations.
Yeah, for plant operations, okay.
So,
Can you just buy a new unit from a different manufacturer and just put it in? Or do you have to?
yeah, we could fit a new unit in the existing channel. Unfortunately, it's expensive.
Okay.
So we're looking at the repair cost, we're looking at approximately $30,000.
Okay.
A new unit, I have a budgetary number for $160,000.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's,
you wanna watch that, huh?
yeah.
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 I'm working with the Public Works Director and
Yeah.
figure out what the best course of action is for that.
The new is 100 and what?
160,000 is the budgetary number I got.
What are these, titanium card?
They are probably 3/16 stainless, I think they're probably 20-foot long screens, plus the mechanism that scrapes them.
Quite a piece of equipment,
Yeah, it's pretty big. I'd be happy to show anyone if they wanna come down and look at what's there now.
What are you saying, it's beat, rotten?
It's simply just wearing right now.
Yeah.
When it was sent back 4 years ago, it had actually failed before they sent it back. At this point, the sprockets and chains are worn, and if we don't, at this point, if we don't send it out, it will go into failure, in the next 6 months to a year. So it's, we're being a little more proactive with it, and see where it goes.
Okay. Well, basically, it is what it is, hopefully hope for the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the only other thing is, we lost a pump at Milford Point Pump Station. We pulled it out, had it rebuilt, and we actually ordered a backup pump. There's 2 pumps there installed, and now we have a 3rd pump on standby to install when there's another failure.
How much are the, how do you measure pumps, and what do these pumps cost?
So the pump is basically sized for the amount of water it's pushing, and the amount of height it needs to push it to.
That's head versus?
Yeah, the amount of head. So they, like we were saying last week, some of them can be used between stations, a lot of them are specific to their application. So, we use them where we can.
I just, do you have any idea how much these pumps cost?
This one, they're all different, this one I think was 16,000,
That's not bad.
yeah.
Compared to that 160, we're all set.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think,
It's by 10 pumps.
yeah, that's it, it gets the size of the pump, the West Ave pumps are probably up around that, 100,000 and change. So that's all I got, unless anyone has any questions.
Yeah, you have the average effluent nitrogen was 436 pounds a day, the permit limit was 307. That's something I've seen come up before, was there a reason for that?
Okay, so the flows have been high, and the way the nitrogen is calculated, it's based on the milligrams per liter going out
Right.
times the flow times the conversion factor to get pounds per day. So the plant can be performing, in its design specifications, but if the flow is high, you end up putting out more pounds.
Now, is the equipment that we have, that's capable, I take it, of handling it even though it's over the permit limit?
Yeah, so the effluent is meeting all the other requirements
Right.
for solids, BOD and everything else. It's, disinfected with UV. It's just for the nitrogen particulates over.
Okay. And the same thing happened at the Beaver Brook plant,
Right.
it was slightly over,
Right.
and the equipment is sufficient to,
Yeah, so
no, that's not a concern of yours, is it?
that's sort of why they set up the nutrient trading program,
Right,
is because technology only treats it to a certain level.
right.
And, the way it's set up, if you can't make that, then you pay. And if you do better, you buy.
Well, this is the high flow time of year,
Yeah.
Because of
typically.
rain, stuff
And
like
so you
that.
may make up some of that in the summer.
It's because of rain and stuff, and things like that.
Yes,
Yeah, the rain.
especially May.
That's what in the past we've had as a reason.
March, April are always the high flows year to year.
Well, you explained that to us, and he said it averages out a year annually.
Yeah, it's done annually, so.
Yeah.
The numbers have already started to come down, so I expect by the middle of the summer, we'll be.
Now, last week it hasn't.
I know.
No,
They started, like I said, they went back up again last week. So it's,
All right, that's fine, thank you very much.
All set? Okay. Thank you. So the previously stated committee reports are none, old business and none. Voting, regular minutes, meeting minutes of March 27th, 2019.
I'm gonna move that we approve the regular meeting minutes. Do you need a separate motion for each of these?
Yes.
I'm gonna approve the regular meeting minutes for the 27th.
Second?
You,
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public hearing minutes, 3/27,
I'm
2019.
gonna move that we approve the public hearing minutes for 3/27, 2019.
few more seconds.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And approval of payments. We have
Go on, buddy.
the vouchers of
B&W.
$49,609.34.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I always back this flow.
Okay. And under-
You always make a motion to do this flow to turn the big.
Well,
No, any.
Administrative approvals, mostly residential homes. I think we were doing 19 of them throughout the city. Yeah. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
So be it. Okay.
You want to talk to our buddy?
Thank you, Mark.
If the applicant was just quiet for a second.